have nothing to say about this entire situation, but Miss Julia Fox, without any evidence, the police have presented no evidence, have not even presented a scenario, have not given any kind of reason that Courtney says she murdered her boyfriend. But Julia Fox, with nothing to go on, says it sounds like self-defense. You cannot write this shit, because I want you to know y'all's preference is gonna leave you for dead hoe every time. Every time you're gonna be left for dead, and they're gonna defend each other with no rhyme or reason.
You know, I found this on my Twitter feed. This was a prime example. This was perfect, yo. You see this right here, man? Listen, man. Once you date them and something bad happened to you, I don't know what to tell you. Don't come over here. Don't come asking me to support some GoFundMe page. Go ask her community. Go ask Howard Stern community. Go ask Jerry Seinfeld community. Go ask Joe Rogan community. Don't come over here. Once you cross that line, don't come back. Don't come back over here crying. Because we've been telling you about these people, but no, you don't want to listen. Love is blind. Yeah, love is blind. That's why.
Okay, first, I would like to send my condolence to the family members of this young man. What a tragedy for anyone at all to have gone through something like this, or any person's child or brother or father to go through such tragic loss. It's a loss to humanity, and whether you be black, white, yellow, green, or whatever you call yourself, should not condone something like this, regardless of what he might have said when he was alive against the black community, especially the black woman. Not that I condone what he said. I mean, what he said is completely not acceptable, and it's a clear warning to those disrespecting women or any culture at all out of prejudice. Stop putting people in a box. Because one woman has offended you doesn't mean all women are bad. Worse still, because one black or African woman has offended you doesn't mean all black or African women are bad. Again, is this not part of what the black community has to deal with? The colonial mentality, whereby you see some Africans can't even wear their natural hair because they feel disdain, or because they have been socially and mentally constructed to believe what they have is not good enough. What about those who are Africans and have so much disdain for their complexion that they go to the extent of bleaching off their skin because of the social construct of, if you're dark, you're not beautiful. If you carry your natural curly hair as an African black person, you're not beautiful. What about those who don't even want to associate with their blackness or anything that's got to do with Africa? What about those who live abroad, who physically you can see, you can call them black or African, but yet they don't want to have anything to do with the continent Africa? Why? Because of the social construct, whereby colonization has taught them that the African continent is not a holiday destination. The African continent, the entirety of African continent is poor. But the same people who taught them this are the same people who capitalize on what that same continent has got, like the human resources and the mineral resources. But yet, we are told that Africa is so poor to the extent that those who are of African descent don't even want to associate with the name Africa. They don't want to be called African because colonization has given them that mindset to the extent that they are so embarrassed, so much embarrassed, it affects so much of their prestige that they don't want to associate with Africa or Africans or even the African culture. So why is the African community right now condemning this young man of what he said, which, again, I do not condone? Is that not hypocrisy? Are we not as well doing what he's done, probably in a different way? The African community is doing exactly what he's done. What he's done is to condemn the African woman from his Instagram page. The messages he left there are that he has disdain for any woman who is black or African. We don't know why he came up with that. We don't know if it's a social construct that has affected his mindset. We don't know if he had a bad experience with one, two, or more African women for him to have come to that conclusion that all African women are not people that he wants to relate with. It's hypocrisy. Why condemn him when he's already gone? Should we not come together as a community to condemn this act? Should we not come together as a community to say, no, none of this will be accepted? If we're to turn the table around and the woman happens to be the one that was killed, guess what? The Caucasian community will come together and to condemn it. It would have been all over CNN. It would have been all over the major media organizations. So why is the African community, rather than coming together, should this not be a uniting factor for us all to say no? Although this young man, who is now late, erred with his words, which we all agree on, but we still condemn the act. But what I'm hearing right now is that, oh, he's a brother, he shouldn't have had a Caucasian girlfriend. What has that got to do with all of this? You can find evil people in any community, be it black, white, yellow, or green, or whatever. There are evil people in every community and there are good people in every community. This lady who happens to have committed a murder does not represent the entire Caucasian. If she happened to have been a black or African person, she does not represent the entire black people either. So why is the energy now being turned against the mixed race marriages? If this mixed race couples relationship or marriage didn't work, does that mean that all mixed race couples or marriages or relationships should be condemned? Does that mean we should now start frowning at people who choose to marry those who they love? Why are we focusing on the negative when there are examples of great, awesome mixed race marriages all over the place? Why use this mixed race relationship, which I personally don't consider as a relationship, because it appears it's a narcissistic relationship. It's an unhealthy relationship. Why are we now focusing using this mixed race relationship within workout to condemn all mixed race relationship? Recently in the western part of Africa, Nigeria to be precise, there are two marriages that have occurred recently that is all over social media. These are not mixed race marriages. These are marriages between two Nigerians. One was a Nigerian woman who was living in Scotland, decided to travel back to Nigeria, and the husband set her and her brother ablaze in Nigeria. There's another one that is currently trending on social media of a gospel singer. I can't remember what her name is. I'm going to put her name there. Nigerian gospel singer married to another Nigerian. She was killed by her own husband, beaten up, and she ended up at the hospital. So what are we talking about here? Are we condemning the relationships because it's of two different cultures, or we are condemning the act itself that is evil? Should we not be focusing on the act itself? So there are successful mixed race marriages all over the place. The current vice president of the United States is a mixed race marriage. They are still together. The current newly elected Supreme Court judge is of a mixed race marriage. She's married to a Caucasian Aren't they still together? There's another a mixed race marriage on social media, which I follow. It's called Nwanyocha. This is a Caucasian lady who is married to a Nigerian man, and they are still together. She, being of the Caucasian culture, has fully embraced her husband's culture. We shouldn't be focusing using evil people who commit evil acts as an example for an entire community. Yes, that person is from that community. Doesn't mean everybody in that community is a murderer. It depends on how you work on your relationship. If you're a person from a particular community or country and decide to marry another person from another community or country, be ready to embrace each other's culture, because this is one of the ways to build a great foundation for a successful marriage. The man just died. Can we at least show our empathy as humans? He's got family members who are crying for justice. So please stop the prejudice, because it's not helping in humanity. It's one of the major problems amongst all of us. Prejudice in every hemisphere of our relationship as humans. We should be able to rise above all this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.